You are the type of owner who genuinely loves your dog. You rotate flavors, buy premium varieties, and try every new topper on the shelf because you want the best for them. But science suggests you are actually paralyzing their brain. By offering endless flavor varieties, you are triggering a neurological friction that forces your dog into a state of decision fatigue. It is not a lack of appetite. It is a sensory overload crisis, and you created it with kindness. Most owners assume a dog that refuses food is being stubborn or spoiled. But what if the real problem is not attitude, it is neurology? In this video, we are going to walk through exactly what happens inside your dog's brain when you keep switching up their meals, and more importantly, how to fix it without starving your dog or starting over from scratch. Let us start with something that sounds like a compliment but is actually a warning. Your dog's nose is not just better than yours. It operates in a completely different sensory dimension. Humans have roughly 1,700 taste buds. That sounds like a reasonable number until you realize that your dog is not tasting their food the same way you are. They are smelling it. And when it comes to smell, your dog has approximately 300 million olfactory receptors. You have around 6 million. That is not a small gap. That is the difference between hearing a whisper and standing next to a speaker stack at a rock concert. So when you crack open a bag of modern kibble, especially one of those ultra-blended varieties that combines chicken, salmon, sweet potato, pumpkin, and superfoods in a single cup, your dog is not experiencing one smell. They are experiencing a wall of competing chemical signals hitting their brain simultaneously. Every ingredient carries its own scent compound. Every topper you add multiplies that complexity. And their olfactory system, which is hardwired to identify individual food sources and assess safety, is suddenly overwhelmed. This is the sensory trap, and most owners walk right into it with the best intentions. Now let us talk about what happened to the pet food aisle somewhere around 2024 and accelerated hard into 2026. The trend of flavor toppers, those little pouches and sprinkles and broths you add on top of dry kibble to make it more appealing, became a mainstream habit. Marketing sold it as enrichment, as variety, as giving your dog a more exciting mealtime experience. But here is what nobody tells you about flavor toppers at that level of processing. Ultra-processed flavor additives do not just add a smell. They create a chemical haze. Artificial palatability enhancers, rendered fat coatings, synthetic flavor compounds. These ingredients are engineered specifically to override your dog's natural food recognition system. They are designed to be irresistible, not nutritious. And when you layer them on top of an already complex base formula, you are not enhancing the meal. You are burying it. Think about what your dog's brain is trying to do at mealtimes. It is not thinking about enjoyment the way you do when you sit down at a restaurant. It is running a biological checklist. Is this food familiar? Does it smell safe? Can I identify it as a singular, consistent nutritional source? These are ancient, hardwired questions. They go back thousands of years to when dogs were reading the environment for cues about what was safe to consume. When the bowl in front of them smells like 17 different things, none of which are consistent from meal to meal, that checklist cannot complete. The brain stalls, and what looks like pickiness from the outside is actually paralysis on the inside. Here is where the concept of decision fatigue becomes critical to understand, not as a human psychology buzzword, but as a real neurological state that affects animals too. Decision fatigue occurs when a system is asked to process too many competing variables without a clear dominant signal. In humans, it shows up as analysis paralysis. In dogs, it shows up as avoidance. They walk up to the bowl, they sniff it, and they walk away. Not because they are not hungry, because their brain cannot resolve what it is being asked to accept. And here is the cruel irony. The more you try to solve the problem by offering something different, something new, something more exciting, the deeper you push them into the trap. Every new flavor is another variable. Every topper is another layer of chemical noise. You are not solving the confusion. You are adding to it. So let us shift the frame entirely, because this is the reframe that changes everything. Stop thinking of your dog as a picky eater. That label puts the problem inside your dog, as if there is something wrong with their appetite or their personality. There is not. What you are actually dealing with is a dog whose sensory system has been overwhelmed to the point where it cannot perform its most basic function, which is identifying a safe and consistent source of nutrition. This is not a behavior problem. It is a neurological response to an environment you created, and that means you have full control over fixing it. The path back is simpler than you think, but it requires patience and a willingness to resist the urge to intervene. The first step is consolidation. Pick one formula, one protein source, one base, and commit to it long enough for your dog's olfactory system to build a consistent reference point. That takes longer than most owners expect. We are not talking about 2 days. We are talking about several weeks of stability before the brain begins to relax its alert state and accept the bowl as familiar and safe. During that consolidation period, remove the toppers, all of them, not because toppers are inherently evil, but because right now they are interference. Your dog's system needs silence before it can hear the signal again. A bowl that smells like one thing consistently, meal after meal, is not boring to your dog. It is reassuring. It is a resolved answer to the biological checklist their brain is running every time food appears. The second step is controlling the environment around mealtimes. Dogs pick up on stress, on inconsistency, on the emotional energy you bring to the bowl. If you are anxious about whether they will eat, hovering, adding things, taking the bowl away and offering it again, you are communicating to your dog that mealtime is an unresolved situation. Calm it down. Put the bowl down, give them 10 to 15 minutes and walk away. The absence of pressure is itself a signal that things are okay. The third step is understanding that appetite fluctuation is normal. Dogs do not have the same caloric demands every single day. They are not broken when they skip a meal or eat less than usual. What breaks the system is the owner's panic response to that fluctuation, the instinct to add something to make the bowl more appealing, which restarts the cycle of sensory overload every single time. And here is the payoff. When you strip it all back, what you are giving your dog is not a less interesting meal. You are giving them clarity. You are giving their brain a problem it can actually solve. And a dog whose brain can complete the safety checklist at mealtime is a dog that eats with confidence, not confusion. If this video reframed how you think about your dog's mealtime struggles, take one real step today. Not tomorrow, today. Simplify the bowl. Remove one layer of complexity and hold that position for 2 weeks before you judge the results. That is how change actually happens. And if you want to keep going deeper on dog nutrition and behavior, the next video is already waiting for you. Go watch it now. Thanks for watching. If you loved this video, scan the QR code on the screen right now to subscribe and join the Pawsome Life family. Give your dog a belly rub for us, and we will see you in the next video.